the biggest, baddest anaconda in the Amazon versus the biggest, baddest black caiman? Because you mentioned there's a race. If there's a fight, this is UFC in cage, who wins underwater?
The biggest and the baddest.
The biggest and the baddest. That you can imagine, given all the studies you've done of the two animals species.
And the baddest. You're talking about an 18-foot, several 100-pound black caiman versus a 26-foot, 350-pound anaconda.
Yeah.
I think it's a death stalemate. I think the caiman slams the anaconda, bites onto it. The anaconda wraps the caiman, and then they both thrash around until they both kill each other. Because I think the caiman will tear him up so bad.
And the caiman's not going to let go. He's just going to
Caiman's never going to let go. But then he's gonna realize that he's also being constricted. So then he's going to stop, and he's going to keep slamming down on that anaconda. And the anaconda is just going to keep constricting. But if the caiman can do enough damage before the it's almost like a striker versus a jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
If you can get enough elbows in before they lock you.
How fast is the constriction? So it's pretty slow.
It's incredibly quick. So you take the back and get me in a chokehold.
Yeah.
It's that. I have maybe 30 seconds, maybe on the upward side if you haven't cinched it under my throat. But if you've gotten good position, it's over.
Is there any way to unwrap the choke, undo the choke, defending?
Not unless you have outside help. Unless you have, another human or another 10 humans coming to unwrap the tail and help you. But for an animal, like if a deer gets hit by an anaconda, there's no way. They don't stand a chance.
So the black caiman would bite somewhere close to the head, and then just try to hold on and thrash.
Yeah, I don't think a large black caiman. Here's the thing. Every fisherman knows this. So like the biggest fish, they're smart.
Yeah. And
more importantly, they're shrewd. They're careful. A huge black caiman that's 16 feet long isn't going to be messing with a big anaconda. Like they won't cross paths because while they technically occupy the same type of environment, that black caiman's going to have this deep spot in a lake, and that anaconda is going to have found this floating forest-like sort of black stream backwater where it's going to be, and they'll have made that their home for decades, and they'll already have cleaned out the competition. So maybe if there was a flood and they got pushed together, they could have some sort of a showdown, but almost more certainly is that when they get to that size, that caiman, at any sign of danger, bloom, right under the water. It's almost like, even if what do you learn when you're a black belt? What do you do with a street fight? You still run away. There's no reason for a street fight. And I think the animals really understand that. There's no reason for this.
So like a giant anaconda and a giant black caiman, they could probably even coexist in the same environment, just using the wisdom to avoid the fight. Like why?
Yeah. Or they would have a big showdown and one of them would either die or have to leave. They would have a territorial dispute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without killing either of them.
Yeah. On it, dude. Nature. Anything could happen.